Hi friends, hello. Is anybody out there? Did it work? Did I do it right this time? Let's see. Somebody's here. I heard the little sound. That means I got a comment. Hi Shauna, how are you? It's been so long since I've been live. I feel like even my hair grew since the last time I was on here. Like, this is my Corona hair. Look how long it is. Oh my goodness. I I get a lot of compliments on it, but honestly, I'm ready to have it cut. So I had um, I had my sixth surgery little over 2 weeks ago, and it's you're not really even getting the full effect in these sleeves. But look at my arms. I mean, I'm still like feel just shocked about how small my arms are. I thought I had big biceps, but apparently they were fat. So I got to do some push ups and start pumping a little iron. Um, but I have been able to crochet a little, but I'm just tired, I'm still just tired and resting and recovering. So that's why I haven't been here, but I'm back. So nice to see so many people here. I thought I would just come on and work on the pocket shawl because a lot of you have been working on them and there have been a lot of questions, and there's a new technique that we're doing, and it's the straight start and it's used in both pocket shawls. Oh, thank you. I've missed you all too, and thank you to everybody that sent messages and um, even just comments on my posts. Um, you know, especially about Mudkip, because if you all haven't heard, I did lose Mudkip right before I went to Georgia. It was so weird. A kitten showed up. My son brought a kitten home, and the kitten just really took to me. I am not a cat person at all. And the kitten just really took to me, and it was like sleeping on my chest when it was really tiny. And so I really did fall in love with the kitten, and I named him Walter. And then just a few days later, not even a week after that, Mudkip just suddenly died on me. So it was really hard, but it was his time to go, and I had a lot to distract me from the grieving process because I had surgery and everything. But I'm home now. Thank you. Let me just switch this out. Yeah, poor guy. Poor guy. He had a rough last day. It was really rough, but I just really think it was his time, and I did everything I could for him. Um, yeah, he was a really good little guy, and everybody that has ever made the 6-day kid blanket has seen Mudkip because he's on the cover. And everyone that ever saw him, he did lives, and he would pop into all my videos. So you all have seen Mudkip, and he'll be missed by a lot of people, I'm sure. So just gonna swap this out. Y'all can even see my hands are not as puffy as they used to be, and my wrist cuffs are gone. I mean, even if you those are scars, liposuction scars, so they went all the way down to my wrist. But if you look at if you've watched any of my videos, my wrist, I had a wrist cuff on both wrists, but the right one was more prominent, but it's gone. So yeah, but I have to wear compression for a year. I'm still wearing compression on my legs and on my stomach and butt. So that's a year, and that's, you know, I don't have to wear it for life, but they say you don't have to wear it for life. You only have to wear it for a year. But honestly, I'm a year out on my lowers, and I can tell that I will need to wear compression from time to time, if not all the time, on my lowers because they swell. They'll be swollen after I get off this call because I've been sitting in the, I'll be sitting in the chair for a long time. But, and I did get a new chair too where I'm like, it's like one of those kneelers. So, anyways, I just wanted to tell you because a lot of people, when we started talking about the pocket shawl, the 6-day pocket shawl. Now, one of the first things that happened was we were confused about the resize video because for the resize video, you start with a 6-day kid blanket swatch, which is 37 stitches. We all know that, okay? And then you measure it, and this one's 8.5 inches. And then this is going to be the width of the center portion of your pocket shawl. If you're doing the sideways one, I'll have to do another video about that because you have to do a long, mine was over 6 feet long, 303 chains, I think, and then you fold up the edge. So, hi Alba, so good to see you here. Yeah, so, okay, so this one is 8.5, and then, so two things that are coming up right off the bat is people are saying this isn't wide enough. Okay, this isn't going to be wide enough. I'm going to make it wider. So before you decide you're going to make it wider, you should know that making it wider at this point, here's my pocket shawl, also will affect your pocket because this piece, the pocket, and the shawl are the same size. So if you make your shawl wider, you're going to have to make your pocket wider because this is not sewn on. This is worked together. The pocket and the scarf are worked together with the edge. So before you decide that, oh, this needs to be wider, make sure you read the whole pattern. And pretty soon here, one of these days, I'm adding it to my list, I'm going to teach a class for those of you that say you can't read patterns, and it's going to be called the How to Read Patterns, Crochet Patterns for People Who Can't Read Patterns. That's the name of the class. And it's going to be for all of you that say, I can't read a pattern. Can you make a video? You definitely can read it, but step one in that class, the very first thing that I'm going to teach you, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to be the first thing you do when reading a pattern is you read it all the way through, right? Read the whole entire thing so that you know what's coming, because if you don't do that for this one, you might not know that you have all this width of that you're going to add to the to your project. So this one was, I guess, I think it's stretched out a little bit, but it's 9 inches. I think my swatch was 8 inches. And then it's, my finished pocket is about 17 inches. So this, it's deceiving. This is only about half of the width of your total pocket shawl, okay? And if you want it to be wider, then do more rows, like do more border rows. Instead of doing double crochet, granny, double crochet, do granny, double, or something like that, or just add on rows on to the edge. Yeah, I don't suggest making this wider unless you're using some kind of teeny tiny yarn where it's only going to be like really, really tiny. Then I wouldn't make this wider because you're going to have a really wide pocket. And we actually did a sideways pocket that ended up with a really wide pocket, and it was literally unusable. Like one of the testers finished it up before she realized that I had said, oh, this isn't going to work. And she was like, this is unusable. And I think she ended up putting it on her couch and like putting remotes in it or sewing up, seams so that it would be like 3 pockets. But trust me, you're not going to like that wide pocket. um, and then the other thing oh, let me see, I guess. So on this side, my pocket matches the direction of the scarf. So on the other side, it does not because this is the top end, right? Where'd it go? So we did choose, and we discussed this, we did choose to have both pockets going up with the chevrons going up. So you'll have chevrons going down on your scarf, but on one side of the pocket you'll have chevrons going up. And we just decided that it looked better with both pockets with the ends going up. So if you want it to match, then just flip it over and put the pocket ribbing onto the bottom of your pocket and just flip it over. Easy. But those are things to think about before you just start and get going on your pocket shawl. Okay, so that's one thing, was it's not going to be wide enough. And then the other thing was, someone's playing music outside. The other thing was, people said, okay, if I chain 37 and it's 8.5 inches, then, but the pattern tells me to chain 30. So if I chain 30, it's going to be even narrower. Well, no, it's not, because you're actually starting your chain down here and it's straight, okay? And then you build by increasing stitches these chevrons. So I brought this swatch in so that I could, when I finish, I'm going to do the straight edge for you and get, I don't know if I'll get a whole pocket done, but I'm going to go as far as I can on this video. When my legs start to, get sore, or my arms, then I'm going to quit. But I made this ahead of time so that I could show you that your pocket is going to be the same, that 30 stitches is going to match. So when you do the resize video was from way a million years ago, before we had the new straight start technique. So add that to the list. I'll have to make a new resize video. You can still use the same resize video though, and just know that this, it's 17 inches if you're using the old chevron start, but if you're using the new chevron start, it's 30 plus 4 instead of, we used to do, actually it's 13 plus 4 is the formula. Instead of 17 plus 3, it's 13 plus 4. So 13, 13, 4, 30. Okay? Same. All right, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to start. I know y'all are going to say you can't see it with this yarn, but this is what I want to use. Sorry, because I want to actually make a pocket shawl with this. I love denim. When I was younger, I had everything denim. I had a denim bike, I had a denim jacket, I had denim shoes, I had denim hat. I was one of those crazy kids that, I would get obsessed with one thing, and denim was it for a while. So I'm gonna work it in this. And this is Mandala Ombre, Lion brand Mandala Ombre. The name of the color is Harmony. I would call it denims. And I was using this for 6-day kid blanket hats. I made a really beautiful 6-day kid blanket hat out of this last year. And for whatever reason, this particular remainder of this ball that I had did not have a lot of the dark blue. So when I tried to make my 6-day kid blanket hat, it just didn't have enough variation. So it didn't work. But I have made 6-day kid blanket hats with this yarn, in the past, and I love how they come out. So the 6-day kid blanket hat is going through a little bit of a renaissance right now. Somebody discovered that it was there, and a few people have been making them. So I have Gina Robertson to thank for coming up with the concept for the 6-day kid blanket hat. And Old Boiler Robo, whose real name is Glennis Robertson, for conceptualizing this pocket shawl pattern that we're doing right now. Here we go. I might actually need the pattern for this because I haven't done it. I've done it quite a bit, so let's see. Let me bring it up. I want to make sure I do it right. There it is. Okay, chain 30. Actually, let's see, what size is this? Is an H, so I'm gonna bump up. Let's see what I have here. That's a G plus. That's too small. I know this one's a J. Oh, you're making a 6-day kid blanket hat? I'll do this. I just chain a little bit tighter than I work. My tension is weird. I think my tension for chaining is tighter than my tension for wrapped stitches. So I think that's why my edges curl on my 6-day kid blankets. So I'm just going to start with a little bit bigger hook. So let me go back. Okay. I have a slip knot on my hook. And let me just say it for everybody. It does not count. I know I said it does in my video, and my grandmother thought so too. Or at least that's what I thought she told me. But I was like 6 years old at the time, so obviously one of us messed up. Okay, so we start counting when you make a stitch, so that is 1. And the whatever is on the hook does not count. Makes way more sense than what I was doing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just going to count out loud. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I just noticed something that I do that I was doing kind of unconsciously, and that's I move my hand up every 5 stitches, and it helps me count. It's just something that I do, but I never really thought about, and I just noticed myself doing it just then. I've been crocheting a long time. Okay, so now let's see what the pattern says to do. I just want to get this really nicely. There we go. Okay, set up row 1, starting in the 2nd chain from the hook, single crochet across. So there's my 1st chain from the hook, there's my 2nd from the hook, and I'm going to work under just 1 thread of the chain. I like working under the top thread, or that you can also work under the top 2 threads and leave the bottom thread. And it's also correct to work into the back loop. You can do that too. The thing about this 6-day kid blanket hat, I made a big comment on somebody's post about it today, is it's very difficult to size. It's got a 17 stitch repeat. It's not like really easily adaptable like my other hat patterns. So it's like if you need it to be just a little bit bigger, you can't add 3 or 4 stitches. You have to add 17. So it's a good hat to make if you don't, if you're making hats for, let's say, a craft show or something, and you're going to sell them, and you're not making them specifically for one single person, then they're good. I think with this mandala ombre yarn, I was doing the 5-point hat, and they came out really nice. In fact, there was a black and white one I didn't want to sell. I sold it, and then I regretted solding it. I regretted selling it because I wanted it for myself. It was black and white and it had a black pom-pom. And so I guess I'll be making another one of those. Okay, 30. I'm not going to count because I'm a professional. I'll probably regret it later when my count is off at the end of setup row 2. Okay, setup row 2. Here we go. Chain 1. I always do it before I turn, but it does not matter. It does not matter. Okay, and then 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice you don't skip one like you do on this on the 6-day kid blanket. Okay, that's one like little tip that I have for you is don't assume that 6-day kid blanket based patterns are going to be exactly like the 6-day kid blanket. If you've made a million 6-day kid blankets, it's easy to get confused because you can just get into a rhythm with those. Okay, and then 6 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, got a little yarn barf. 6, and then 7 single crochet. So I might change the way that I wrote this. Because people are getting confused. But I believe, and maybe someone who knows more about pattern writing than I do can correct me, but I believe when it says repeat from the star to the last 5 stitches, what that means is when you have 5 stitches remaining in your row, you stop. Repeat from star does not mean that you will end up repeating that entire sequence. It just means you start there. And I think that is right. I mean, I've done a lot of knitting and crochet, and but I could be wrong. 1, 2, we're back to 6 half double crochet. 3, 4, 5, 6. I always try to write things the most concise way possible. That's why, like on the star blankets, I don't want to do row counts because then you would have a different, the pattern would be 8 miles long and you would have a different count for each row and I'd have to write it like that. So, but I could switch it just to put the repeat before the 7 single crochet. Oh no, I'll think about it. I mean, I like doing things correctly. I like doing things in the most concise way possible, but I also like doing them in the way that's easiest for everyone to understand. When I start getting the same questions over and over again, then that's when I want to change the pattern to make it easier to understand. So I have 5 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to stop in the middle of that repeat and do the last instruction, which is 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, like I like to be right, but there's such a thing as being dead right, you know. Can write it the right way, but if nobody understands it, then what good is it? Okay. So I chained 1, and now I always start on this one. 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 3 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochet. 1, 2, chain 2. 1, 2, whoops. we go. 2 double crochet, 1, 2. See how I'm starting to build my chevrons. 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet. Repeat from the start to the last 3 stitches. So I'm going to start back at the 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 double crochet, 3 half double crochet, okay, so I have 3 left. It said repeat to the last 3. So I have 3 left, so I'm going to stop the repeat and I'm going to do what it says next. It says 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. So the setup is 1, 2, and 3. Let's lay it down and admire it. Okay, let's bring this guy over. And you can see where that's starting to fit together, how that's going to work. I'm admiring it. I'm like, oh, that looks good. I like these colors. Reminds me of my childhood. My childhood as a weirdo. Okay, we're ready for setup row 4. Chain 1. 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. 3 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. 2 double crochet. 1, 2. Now we're going to work into the chain space. 1, 1, 1. Come on, yarn, behave, thank you. Okay. So working into the chain space. Okay. Now notice that this is my last double crochet. It's almost like in the chain space a little bit, but it still counts because it's part of this guy right here. Okay, so don't forget him. 1, 1, 1. Now as I'm working into the double crochet, that is my first stitch. So see how the top of the stitch leans a little bit to the left when you're working back and forth. 2 double crochet, where am I? 3 half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch. Somebody asked me if they should skip the slip stitch. No, it's a stitch. You will be instructed to skip it later. When you're instructed to skip it, skip it. And when you're not, you can definitely work into it. Okay, and then we go back to the repeat, 3 half double crochet and we're repeating until we get to the last 3 stitches. Two double crochet, one in the chain 3 space, two double crochet, three half double crochet. Is that right? Yeah, 3 half double, 1. Oh, it's a knot. Okay. Well, we'll make this a teachable moment. So somebody asked, what do you do if there's a knot in your yarn? Well, I was taught years ago that if there are 2 or more knots in a skein of yarn, then it is considered defective. But I don't know where that rule came from. If that came from like a yarn company saying that they would return yarn that had a certain number of knots in it, but knots are just part of the process of making the yarn. And unfortunately, when you have these like cake yarns and you expect them to change colors at a given, even number of interval, when it has a knot, it gets messed up. But you know what? I don't really care that much about that. So let me get some better scissors. So you have a knot in your yarn, you have to treat it like a new join. So I cut the yarn knot out. I almost never use yarn knots of any kind in my work. Okay. Don't get me on a soapbox about the magic knot. Okay. So the way I change colors is I pull the new yarn through the last step of whatever stitch it is. So this is a half double crochet, so it's a yarn over and then pull up a loop and pull through all 3 loops. So I pull the new yarn through the last step of whatever stitch, and then I take these 2 tails. Okay, these are my tails, and this is my working yarn that I'm about to work with. And I take those 2 tails and I wrap them up over my working yarn like that, okay? And then I do my next stitch. And that way it doesn't leave a gap. There's no gap here where, the yarn is just like waiting to be worked in. It makes it tight. Just makes your work nice and tight and even. So you don't have like a hole working there. You don't have to worry about it coming out. And then I will come back someday, maybe, and work in those tails. I don't work over them because that comes undone, which I found out the hard way. And I don't work them in as I'm going along because if I have to frog that, then, it's going to be even more of a pain and more frustration from frogging. Okay, so I'm still in setup row 4, right? 4. And I'm at the last 3 stitches. So I'm going to stop my repeat and I'm going to 3 single crochet at the end of this row. And it says to turn. The beginning of the next row has a chain 1, so I always chain 1 first. And then I turn. Okay. Set up row 5. Single crochet. Skip 1. So now we're starting to, the edge is going to start to slant in. 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 crochet should put you at the chain 1 space. 3 single crochet into the chain 1 space, 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. If you make a lot of 6-day kid blankets, this is going to start to feel familiar. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's that little slip stitch right there, and we're going to skip it this time and work 7 single crochet up to the next chain space. 3, whoops, 4, try and go slow for you guys, 5, 6, 7, 3 single crochet in the top, yeah, it says repeat to the last 9 stitches, so these are the last 9 stitches, and it's going to be 7 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 2 left, skip 1 and work 1 single crochet into the last single crochet. So those 5 setup rows, now you are ready for 6-day kid blanket row 2, right? So you can go right into 6-day kid blanket row 2. That single crochet row is going to take the place of the chain and row 1 of the 6-day kid blanket, and that's going to fit together perfectly. It's going to look like that. Isn't that magical? I have a feeling I'm not live on YouTube either. I'm gonna be mad. It says I'm streaming. Okay. If you're on YouTube, say hello. Okay, so that's the straight start setup rows, and that you'll use that on the sideways pocket shawl. You're going to make a long, super long chain, starting chain, and then do that, and then start your 6-day kid blanket stitches and repeats. And whatever version you're working, whether it's the skinny shawl, which we call the robo version, or the long one, you're going to start with granny rows and end with granny rows and single crochet. I know y'all do your blankets all kinds of different ways, and some of you like to start and end with double crochet rows, and that's fine. You can do that, but the pocket is going to end like this on row 4. This is row 4, okay? So let me just scroll down here and then I'll show you how to square off the top. Okay, so after you complete row 4, you square off. So you chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Counting the stitch under the turning chain, that's this one. Skip 2. 1, 2. 3 double crochet. Now, unless the pattern says to work into 1 stitch, you work across the stitches. 3 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. 2 single crochet, 1, 2, slip stitch, 2 single crochet, and it says repeat to the last 8 stitches, so the repeat is the 3 half double crochet, 2 double crochet, and if you're a 6-day kid blanket vet, this should start to feel familiar. Same rule applies. Your last double crochet always will fall directly between these two, the last 2 double crochet of the cluster, 2 rows down, and that is true for every 6-day kid blanket variation so far. Okay, then I'm going to skip 2, 2 double crochet, oops, 3 half double crochet, 2 single crochet, slip stitch into the top, and keep going down, 2 single crochet. Let's see, it says 8 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and so the last 8 stitches are 3 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, skip 1, double crochet, and last single crochet. Set up row, or square off row 1. Okay, and then we're going to turn, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I turned first that time. Counting the stitch under the chain, you skip 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochet, oops, 3 half double crochet, I need a yarn ball in here, I'm on row 2, I just want to check it, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, 3 half double, two double, skip 2, two double crochet, and then 3 half double crochet, single crochet, chain, slip 1, single crochet, this is work to the last 8 stitches, so we're here, it's 3 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, skip 1, double crochet in the top of the turning chain. Somebody asked me if I still go from back to front, and I wasn't even sure if I did it or not, so no, my answer is yes. You see how your chevrons are starting to flatten out? Now you're starting to come into a straight edge. Square off row 3, chain 3, counting the stitch below the turning chain, skip 2, 3 half double crochet, 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. You work the slip stitch just like any other stitch. 4, and you know if you're on 4, you're on track because you're going to have 7 single crochet, and there's going to be 3 on one side of the slip stitch and 3 on the other side of the slip stitch. So just a little trick that you can do to keep you on track. Okay, and then 3 half double crochet, and you can see where they're going to be centered in the valley, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we know we're filling off that valley and we're leveling off the top. We have 6 stitches down here, so you can check on every repeat to make sure that those groups of stitches are centered. Okay, and then 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the slip stitch, so I know I'm good. 5, 6, 7, and then 3 half double crochet, skip 1, half double crochet in the top of the chain, turning chain, square off row 3. Chain 1. It's a little confusing the way I wrote it for square off row 4. I was just looking at it. I can see why people are asking questions. Single crochet in the same stitch and in each stitch across. And then it says working 3 single crochet in the last corner stitch. Yeah, but that actually you shouldn't be working 3 in the last stitch there, because then I tell you to continue to pocket edge. What am I doing here? I'm doing the pocket. Okay, I gotta fix that. I just fixed it and sent a new thing out to everybody. And it says pockets make 2. Okay, so the scarf edge is going to be different than the pocket edge. If this is my scarf, then I am going to work 3 single crochet in the last stitch. But if it's my pocket, I'm not. So I'm going to pretend this is the end of my scarf. Okay, and then the next thing I would be doing for my scarf is I'd be working a row of single crochet around the side, bottom, and side. Okay, working into the, some people were saying that they didn't understand this, so I'm going to keep going down the edge. You work into the double crochet, single crochet, or turning chain, whatever is there on the side. You go below 2 threads of the stitch and leave 1 on the bottom. And there's no really precise way to do it. Sometime I work that single crochet. Somebody said, do you just leave the single crochet? Sometimes I work it and sometimes I don't. It just depends, because I want a nice even edge. And I'll just show you just by working into the spaces. If I work into the space, and then I have to jump over to this space, that is not even. That makes a pucker. So for me, I do not like working into spaces. I don't think it's even. I work into the stitches. See how nice and even that is. And you may have to skip here and there to make it even, so it's not ruffling. So make sure you lay it down. See, I kind of skipped one right there. I skipped right there. I don't think I skipped right there, but I'll probably skip this and move on to there. So it's more art than science. It's not exact, but you want it to be nice and straight and flat. It's really bugging me, this mistake that I'm looking at in the pattern, so I'm gonna log off and fix that right away before I get distracted. So, but there you have your straight bottom and straight top for your pocket shawls or any other technique you want to use this for. You can use it on your blankets now, and you don't have to fill in the bottom edge of your blanket anymore. Maybe, let's see, how long have I been on here? Yeah, it's been almost an hour, so I'll leave this right here, and then maybe next time I'll show you how to fill in the bottom after the fact, because you may still have a desire to do that at some point. Yeah, okay. Thank you all for being here. Let me play my music, and I'll go ahead and sign off. See you all next time. Stay safe, stay well. Don't forget to lay it down and admire it.